Hey everyone. Hey, if you can see me and hear me, let me know in the chat there. Welcome everyone. We're going to get started in just a second. Make sure you tell us where you're from. And we got a great show coming. And oh, by the way, the tunes, dude, I dig them. So it's actually a basic free tune that you can get from YouTube. And I've used it from the beginning, and it makes me dance beforehand. So clapping your hands is legal. Sweet. How do you like that intro? Make sure you can hear and see me. I should be tiny. Don't need to be big. It's not about me tonight, but I need some amens or some yes again, because I seem to always screw this one feature up. But I'm on the screen. That means you can hear me. So that's a good thing. So tonight we've got a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be getting some updates from you guys. Want to know what everyone's doing and everything. So we're going to get started. As we get started, one thing I do want to remind you guys, if you don't mind, he's a good friend. He's been a good friend of PrepperNet. And if you guys would just maybe say a prayer for Glenn Tate and Shelby, because he has colon cancer. First operation went great. Send him a note saying, hey, thanks for being part of PrepperNet. And thanks for all you do in the preparedness community. They're great people. The next announcements is, oh my goodness, I did not think this through. When I told people in the last video, hey, if you want to learn about cryptocurrency, send me a private message in the on the .net, the preppernet.net. And I didn't think this through, because when other people post, I can click one thing and boom, it will mark them all red. But when you get chats, you can't do that. And I had over 73 people that said they want to learn more about crypto. So we're going to do, I've got a commitment, but I'm going to try to get one of the absolutely top people to come on. I don't want to give his name out yet, but he in the crypto world, he's big, and he said he would if we can work it out though. So cross your fingers. I mean, this guy is, anyway, we will see. So that will be coming. I'll be honest with you guys. I prefer to wait till next month, because I don't want to get anything away from the focus of ham month, because this is all about ham. So I really want to stay with ham this month and then next month. And then another sad thing is, guys, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I may only offer that to my premium members, because they are the ones that support this. I don't know. I'm torn about this. They're the ones that support, and they pay for the software that I'm using. They pay for our email client, which is $360 a month right now because of the amount of emails we have. The meetup groups are over right at $7,000 a year. There's expense in the premium members. Really, this would have to be done a lot different without them. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So another thing is, I mentioned last week as well about interested in a home-based business. Again, overwhelming. I just had no clue. I had people tell me they started one, it failed. They started the wrong kind, it failed. They don't know what their talents are. So, and at this point, I talked to a friend of mine, because I didn't know how to handle this in a sense of, I don't want to, let's just say that I have a lot of experience at starting business. I've been an entrepreneur literally since 2000. I just kind of wanted to give a background. I don't want to, this isn't a brag session or anything, but I want you to have, yeah, I've been in business, and I was a banker long before that. But at one time, I had 39 pieces of paper that had ink that I wrote, and we called it a business plan. And with that business plan, the words I put on that Word document, it came up to 39 pages, and I raised $4.7 million with that idea. And I sold that company. I've started many companies and sold them. You can even go to the SEC, Security Exchange Commission. I took a company, I created the company, created the business plan, created the financials, got the investors, and I took the company actually public on Wall Street. So I have a huge, somewhere in this head, if I can just get it out, experience in businesses, and especially home-based businesses. I've helped many friends and many people. I have sites right now that make me money that I do nothing. And I want to share that information. I don't want anything in return. What I want, my desire is for preppers and everyone part of PrepperNet. I want y'all to be successful so y'all can make more money, do great things in the world, but also get your family prepared on an accelerated path. And if you're and I also want you to get out of debt. So we're going to be talking about all this stuff in the businesses. What businesses don't get into. I mean, I've actually started, 25 years ago, helped start a multi-level marketing company. Don't slam me for that. But I haven't been in one since that. But I know all the ins and outs of network marketing and affiliate marketing and, click all the different things. And even doing courses online and teaching classes. And I teach classes sometimes. If I ever got strapped for cash, I would throw a few things up on the newspaper here, on the radios, and I could be teaching survival classes, just bringing in money. And so I'm going to go through all that. I'll go through a lot of different things, and we will, and you can pick, and I'll even, maybe if it gets narrowed down to 100 people that really want to do something, I'll even do some take individual questions and help you guys with that in like some Zoom meetings. Okay. So anyway, I really want to help you and take my knowledge. And if I don't know the answer, so I'm the CEO of Son Ovens International right now. And I have a team of professionals, rock stars that are helping me in every aspect, from operations to sales. We got it covered. And I will bring that team together to make sure that we can help you guys. I just wanted to, again, I would like to wait till next month on that. And if you're okay with that, then we will do that. And I'll probably, again, just for the premium members. That's why I think 100 people in a class would be awesome, because I can go through some questions. I can have my lawyer, my accountant, everyone that I need on the call. We can answer all your questions. We can help you with ideas. I mean, I've got 15 ideas right now that I don't have time to do. I don't want to do it. But they're good ideas and can make money. And I promise you, they will make money. So anyway, that's next month. Just stay tuned. If you haven't told me you're interested, I guess go to .net and say, hey, I'm interested in the crypto. I'm interested in the business. Just send me a DM. How do you do a DM? That was a question some people asked. Is you find my name or the PrepperNet, /Garvin, you click on it and it brings up my profile and it says, say hello. You click on the say hello and a chat window comes up and you can send me a message. Okay. I'm hoping most people did that last week, so I don't get a ton of them. I had to literally open every single one of them up. So anyway, so this month we're going to we're going to talk about ham. Man, the feedback we're getting and the people that are posting that I'm taking a test, I'm studying it, I wanted to study. I've even seen people already say they were taking it. That means they started before we started. This is awesome. This is the idea that we all level up our game. And I'm going to help you do that right now. And we're going to go through a term. We're going to have the term of the week. And okay, all you hammers and nerdies, don't say anything first. Let me go through this, because this week we're going to cover 73. That's a term. It's a number. It's a term. So let's see what Wikipedia says it is. I just thought this was funny because I looked it up and it says 73 is a natural number following 72 and preceding 74. Well, that's really not the 73 we're looking for. I guess that is factual, but that is not what we're looking for. We're looking for 73 is a Phillips code. And it really, I think, happened in the mid 1800s, but it's a code to speed up transmissions. And so, like in CBs, there we go, 10-4. That means I copy you loud and clear. Instead of saying I copy you loud and clear or something like that, you say 73. And there's many numbers. 1020, everybody knows what 1020 is. 1020 is like, what is your location? Instead of me saying, hey, what's your location? Hey, what's your 1020? See, it's shorter. We get lazy when we talk on the radio. We just 1020. Okay. So, but it was first published in 1857. And at the time, 73 meant my love to you. Now, it's kind of strange here because I do have two people in the green room right now, and that's Bravo 65 and Patrick. And they send me a 73 like at the end of our conversations all the time, and I'm kind of concerned about that. If you know, it might love to. Actually, today it kind of means more of like, hey, best regards, or see you later. I'm out. Take care. So, so that is kind of cool. So that is what it means now. It says, Mike, if you haven't been approved, then there's something wrong with your application. We approve everyone within minutes. And you apply, just a question in the room there. If you apply, we approve it. If we approve it, you're approved. I don't know if you didn't get an email or what, but there's no one waiting to be approved. I'm not sure if that's an error on your part, or it could be an error on the software for sure. So, but I don't even know how to help you with that, because we didn't write the software. So anyway, let's keep going. So 73 means best regards. So you can start using this term. You know what it means. You know where it came from. If you mean my love to you, I don't know. That'd be interesting. I don't want to hear that, actually. Next thing I want to just mention is, hey, everything we're doing is approved by Amron. We've got Amron people all throughout PrepperNet. We love Amron, JJS, and what they're doing, and we are partners with them. So the stuff that we're doing, we're not making it up on the fly, okay? We just want you to know we're trained professionals. Well, we have trained professionals. So the month of March, what are we doing? We want to take our communications skills to the next level. So again, some of the things are, I'm going to just go through these real quick. If you got a radio and never transmit, we want you to transmit and receive. If you don't have a license, get a license. If you have a license, get the higher one. I did get ragged about this because I didn't change it on purpose, so I remember. It says general license to expert license. It's not expert, by the way. It's called something else. And hang on, let me bring in. Hey, Bravo. What's the highest license called? Extra. See,
extra.
It's extra. Okay, we'll be right back with Bravo in a second. I'm almost finished, Bravo. See how I can just bring people in? That's everybody in okay, so if you've never talked on HF, we want you to get you to talk. If you never listened to on a shortwave radio, we want you to practice and learn, okay? So anyway, so that's some of the things we want to do. Everyone just take their communications level up. And if you're not on the .net site, you're crazy. We got to get you on there because we have announcements on there. We have general discussions. Best regards is plural. No 73s. Oh, okay. Anyway, okay. Discussion. We have you share your goals with other people. And so right now, I know we have a lot of ham people in. They just, I'm a ham. I'm a general. And so I'm not Nerdfest yet, and it's okay because we're gonna bring you through this ham month and try to make it not so technical for you and make it easy. But if you'll put in the chat right now, hey, I am studying for this test, or just real briefly, if you'll share your goals or what you've put on the .net site, or if you haven't put some, just share your goals right there, what your goals is this month to maybe step up your communications. And we'll read some of them. I just want to see what some of the goals are. Put Echo Link on my phone. Oh, Echo Link is great. Oh, that's awesome. Learn DMR. I am learning DMR right now, Andrew. We've got talk groups that we've put together for PrepperNet that we're going to be releasing. It's going to be awesome. Getting DMR working. We got code plugs we'll be sharing as well. Technician working towards general, awesome. Upgrade to HF and DMR. Studying for general, yes. Want to improve antenna up, yep, okay. Just learning, studying, awesome. Taking ham class through a local club, that's awesome. We love local clubs. I'm going to get my extra. Well, wait, and I can beat you up. Thank you, Elizabeth, my city leader in Yadkinville. So look at all these people. They are learning DMR, studying for extra, helping hams put up their antenna system. You need to get with the other guy there. I'm a newbie just getting started. Hey guys, I'm studying for technician. Awesome. So I did post how I passed and studied install radio in new truck. Yes. I did post how in some of these forums on there, how I studied and how it became so easy that it was so easy. I studied 7 hours and took the test, and I put exactly how I did it on there. Finishing up HF station currently hold general. Yep. Taking technician. Awesome. This is awesome. So we want to encourage you. We have experts on there. Go in there, and if you have questions, let's keep going. I just wanted to see, Pat. I mean, if you pass the test, I even put a post out a long time ago, and I've noticed it's got a lot of traction this month of like, hey, what's your call sign? Now I hope everyone knows. I'm going to go over this real quick. I sent a message to everyone that if you are going to get your license, or even you have your license, let's say you're going to take the test soon, or you already have your license, I recommend that you get some type of a P.O. box. A P.O. box is because if someone always puts their Elizabeth put her code, her call sign there. Anyone that puts their call sign up, you can look them up within seconds and find out information about them. And so what I do is I have a post office box, and I actually share that with with about 7 friends. And we all use that post office box as our address. So if you look up right now, you look up W4GAR, and maybe we'll show you how to do that. You will see my post office box. You won't see where I live. You won't see my social security number or my date of birth or credit card. Well, you don't see that stuff anyway, but you don't see where I live. I would recommend that you maybe do that. You know, guys, I'm big in privacy and security. And so anyway, that's just a thought. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to have a list of PrepperNet approved equipment. So if you guys are, if you want to buy something now, go in there and chat. Some of the experts, they'll tell you what to get and what not to get, but we'll have that list. And so some of the documents, I'm going to make this full screen. You still should be able to hear me here. Some of the documents we're going to release this month for you guys. And this is, we are working hard. We've already released 2 documents. Some of these are a city communication plan, even down to, so we've released a couple. I'll show you the document. We'll go through the documents in a minute. These are some of the Aries Go Kit checklist, Amron, FSQ white paper, all this kind of stuff we're going to release. And this stuff, it won't come natural to you, and you won't know what some of it is, but we're going to talk through some of it like we are tonight. And you're going to go, okay, I'm starting to get this stuff. It's not this stuff. It doesn't have to be so foreign. What happens is when you get a bunch of old people that are hammers trying to talk to new people, sometimes it goes right over their head. That's why I'm doing this, because I am one of you. I'm one of the new people. And then I have the hammers online. They're getting ready to come on in just about 2 seconds. Matter of fact, I'm going to introduce them right now. This is Patrick Adams. Patrick Adams loves long walks on the beach. He loves wearing his bikini, and he likes shooting basketball. And then we got Bravo 65. Bravo 65 loves chips. And what was he eating tonight? It wasn't Qdoba. It was something else. And he likes long walks in the woods. Okay, I'm going to bring them in here right now so they can. There's Bravo and Patrick. You're on the screen, man.
Hey, as long as those basketballs are 1,000 yards away, we've got a good thing going.
I can't imagine you actually shooting a basketball with your big old beard and everything. So,
hey, remember, now the 8 you had 73. Now 88 mean hugs and kisses.
oh yeah. So hugs and kisses, great.
Yeah.
That's great. So these are my two. These are experts now. Bravo is an expert, and he is one of John Jacob Schmidt, JJS from Amron. He's tight. And you've pretty much have controlled and done Amron pretty much by yourself for the last 5 years, haven't you?
Yes. Pretty much.
Okay. And
yeah, there's a lot of good people in there.
And then Patrick is, I think his job's in this area too, which even stinks, but for him. But he is a genius nerd. Nerd to the 10th degree. He's a great guy though. That's the weird thing. So these are our experts that we have in PrepperNet. They will answer any question you have. If you post it, we have a lot of ham experts in there. I'm not saying these are the top people in the world, but they're the top people we have. So a couple things. So, hey, just open comments. Bravo, you got any for about Ham Month and how things are going?
Things are going great, especially on the, we're doing a lot of work and getting DMR up and running. So I know there's a lot of people that are running out and purchasing the Anytone radios. So we're coming up with our own talk groups that are, PrepperNet pretty much only, and getting those started and just getting everything linked so we can have many tools in our toolbox to get through whenever we need to. So this is just one of the main things we're working on is the DMR part of ham radio and the use of it. So a lot of good stuff.
Now, speaking of DMR, and we purchased ours from Bridgecom, and they're currently out. So many people have purchased. Y'all think we caused the run on it, but I would say, and Patrick, or I know Bravo, you'll back me up on this. Don't buy Anytone just from anywhere. You need to buy it from Bridgecom because of their training. Would you agree with that? Bravo.
I can buy it from Amazon. I think it actually comes with the university also.
It does. Okay. It's called Bridgecom University, and they have the best training videos.
Bridgecom.
People like me can figure it out and do things, which is amazing. So, by the way, this is going to set you back about $230. One of the things that we'll be able to do with DMR is have a national net kind of thing, but you have to buy another device, and some of them is $100 to $300, and he's got one right there. Let me do this here. Hang on. Okay, yeah. That's called a Skybridge, made by Bridgecom. Now this is the more expensive one, right?
Yes, it is. This is probably the more expensive one that's out there. It sits on top of a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus.
Yep. And so I have the same thing. And the cool thing is, if we all get that, or if you get some type of a Raspberry Pi or Skybridge or one on the left there, that's your mobile one, right?
Yeah, you can use this mobile or in the house. You can put it in your pocket, take it with you. As long as you got your phone as using it as a hotspot, you can use it as a little repeater and be able to connect anywhere. So these range anywhere from $35 to about $100.
Yep. And so we're going to recommend everyone get these because if we had 100 people that had these, I don't care where you are in the United States, these things connect. It transmits through the internet. You're talking on your radio. It almost works just like Zello in a sense, but with your radio. And it's the coolest thing ever. We can have our own talk group and just chat away and just share about the weather. Right? Okay.
Yeah. You guys can see that group right there on the bottom. I can just key that thing up and it's going to go to this hotspot right here. You'll see this hotspot change. N4 BYU, N4 BYU, N4 SOI. on PrepperNet.
Is he there?
Well, he was supposed to be. N4BYU, N4SOI. You see how this is changing right here on the screen? It's
Yep.
showing all the information. And then when I unkey it, to go back to listening mode, which now it's listening for the person to call me back.
Perfect.
You might have got a customer walk in.
You know, I have mine out here, but I didn't test my Wi-Fi, or my hotspot is too far away for me here because I'm out in the middle of the woods and it's in my house.
N4BYU, N4SOI, you there? Yeah, he must have had a customer. He's not coming up on any channel.
Okay, we'll try that later. Okay, so Patrick, do you have any words about the month and all this?
Well, encourage everybody to keep moving forward, keep reading the stuff that we're putting out. Get ready to get on the air and try some of it. You know, putting it out there doesn't really do anybody any good unless you guys actually, you know, try to make some of it work. You know, the DMR talk groups, that kind of thing that we're working on, will hopefully be an excellent tool for us, you know, going forward in the future, especially the folks that maybe don't have enough people close by to really pull off a net during normal times and get that kind of practice where you can actually, you know, get some practice with some other PrepperNet members that way. Yeah, that's about it for now until we get into some other things here.
Okay, I do want to say that this Anytone, it's a 878, I think. I've got the Bluetooth version. I would recommend the Bluetooth version.
Are you on here or are you on 75?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
N4BYU, I am back on PrepperNet. I tried you on both channels. Are you here?
And for SOI and for BYU, 3137.5.
Okay, thank you for the comeback, sir. Did you guys see how it displayed his information and, you know, gave a call sign, showed where he was, gave his location? Roy, can you give us one more quick test? I'm in northern part of North Carolina, and Roy's about 35, 40 miles away from me right now. So he's here in North Carolina also. But we can talk all over statewide and far as all over the world. But if you guys want to take a look at the information on the screen when he starts talking, this is it just gives you a lot of good information. Are you there, Roy? N4BYU, N4SOI.
Well,
Okay, not sure where he went.
yeah, disappeared. Oh,
Disappeared again. But somebody asking the
Okay.
I seen him in the talk, and I answered in the chat. Somebody said, "What happens if the internet goes down?" Well, if the internet goes down, then we just revert to.
SOI and for SOI and for BYU.
There it is.
yep.
So what happens is we revert back to standard local type channels on there if the internet goes down. But we can also use digital locally, you know, radio to radio, and we can also use encryption on there. that's only on non-ham bands, or if we have SHTF, can we do something like that? But we could use, MERS, FRS, GMRS. We could use the encryption on those. But if there's no internet, it fails to local, just like any other radio.
Right. And so these things are one of the hottest radios out now. The Bell things, yes, they're 20, 30 bucks and they work. If you're moving up and it's time to kind of graduate to the next level, this is a great radio. This does all the VHF, UHF, the 2 meters, 70 centimeters. This does that. Also can connect just like the Bell thing to the FRS, the GMRS, all the different channels. It can also almost transmit on everything the Bell thing could as well. Anyway, so it's a good one. It's $239. You do need to have the interface like he has there. That one is a more expensive one, but they have some for, like you said, less than $50. So, and you will need that and connect that to your internet. And I'll tell you this, I did it pretty easily. I had a couple issues, but I got through it quickly. So anyway, so back to you, Patrick. You have any more things, or we want to go right into the links now, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go right into the links. And I know a lot of folks who are kind of new to this, don't know how to program repeaters, don't know how to find repeaters, don't know what all that gobbledygook that you see next to the repeater means. So let's take a look at Repeater Book here and kind of talk about, what that information does and how you get it in your radio.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to bring it up right now. The website. Let's see how this works, guys. Repeater Book. Here it is. I'm with you. Boom. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to have to expand the window here because I can't read what's on your screen. So if you head over there and click where it says North American Repeaters on the left.
North American Repeaters.
We're assuming you're in North America here. So this gives us a nice little map, and we're going to pick on North Carolina where Forrest is at. So go ahead and click on North Carolina.
Okay, done.
All right. And then it gives you all kinds of choices. You can pick, repeaters based off of their emergency services, based off of their features, based off of their band. There's all kinds of choices there.
Even near the highway that you're near.
Yeah. Near the highway, you can pick them based off city and town. So we're going to pick them based off of city and town. So pick a big town for us. One of them.
How about Charlotte?
Okay.
What was the ad? What the heck is that about?
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Are y'all still? Can y'all still see? What do y'all see now? Okay.
We see you. We're still here.
Okay, something happened there. Let me go back to that. Okay, we're going. It's like my thing crashed. Okay. North America. This is to find repeaters near you. This is pretty cool. You can just pick on your state. And I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to pick Charlotte again.
And remember that there are repeaters that are, listed, that may be listed in surrounding counties, surrounding areas that you can access. I mean, repeaters sometimes cover 100+ miles. So, don't get hung up right there. But with a portable, it's a good place to look. So if we pick, let's just pick on the 146.94 there.
Okay.
So go ahead and open it up. And it tells you the repeater, what the downlink is that's the actual frequency that the repeater is transmitting on. That's what you hear. It's what the display on your radio actually shows. The uplink is the frequency that the repeater listens to. So that's what the transmit frequency for your radio is. So when you go to program your radio and it asks you for, the receive and the transmit frequency, that's kind of how that corresponds to what information is in repeater book there. And then the offset's the distance between those. If you do the math, you can sit there and do the math and figure out that 146.34 is 146.94 minus 0.6. And then the uplink and downlink tones. So tones, they're sometimes called CTSS or PL. There's a bunch of different names for it depending on who the manufacturer was. And what those do, they're kind of like the key or the combination to access the repeaters. Some repeaters run what's called carrier squelch, which basically the repeater comes up and operates whenever it receives a signal on frequency. But a lot of times, particularly in metropolitan areas and other areas where there's a lot of interference, can cause problems with repeaters. Owners will put tones on them. And in your radio programming, that's where you set your tone. The downlink tone kind of does the same thing for your radio. If you want your radio, so every time you drive past something noisy in town, it doesn't open and blast squelch noise at you. You can do that. And then of course there's the call sign of the owner there, and a lot of times there's an email for the owner as well. That one looks like it's a club, so maybe not one there, but a lot of times there's an email. So if you guys, when the time comes, if you see a repeater you're interested in maybe trying to get a net started on it, that's a good way. Here on Repeater Book, you can go find information out about the owner and then contact them. Go, hey, I want to start a net on your repeater. Can we get permission to do that? And, kind of tell them what you want to do and when you want to do it. And additionally, they're under features. It says e-power. So this one's got emergency power of some sort. Some people are a little more specific on whether it's battery or generator or, that kind of thing. But it does indicate that you got emergency power. So that's how you go and you find repeaters. You can get on the air and do it the old school way where you scan around and look for things that are in operation, but none of us have got time for that. So, this is a great way to find that information. And some over there on the map that Forrest is pointing at, some of them, this one's not one, but some of them actually have a predicted coverage in the map as well. Some guys will upload a custom map that's got, a circle of about where the repeater covers.
And you can pick if you see repeaters and you're wondering why you can't hear them, it might be just because you're too far from them and you just want to pick a closer one to you.
Yeah. Another thing to be aware of, and I'll just kind of throw this out there. It's not as much of a problem on Repeater Book. It's a big problem with some other printed resources. Something we in the amateur radio world refer to as a paper repeater. Repeater frequencies are really in demand, and people like to get their hands on them when they can. And sometimes people will get their hands on a repeater pair that's coordinated and not actually have the equipment on the air, but just have the coordination for it. And we call those paper repeaters. So sometimes you'll find one that, where this one says operational status on air. Sometimes you'll find ones that seem to be off air perpetually, and that's probably because they're a paper repeater. So some of the coordinating bodies have really tried to crack down on that in the last few years, but it does happen.
Right. Bravo, you got anything on this? Nope. Okay. And so what it does, this book, I did Charlotte, and it lists all the ones in Charlotte on this one page here. And this also, if you do have a DMR, look, we got a DMR repeater here. We got a DMR repeater here. We've got, if you guys know what Echolink is, that means these are connected to Echolink. We have a Fusion here, which is, I guess isn't that a form of digital and a day?
Yeah, it's Yaesu's proprietary proprietary one, just like D-Star is ICOM's proprietary one. All of them have got something proprietary that doesn't talk to anybody else's stuff.
Right. And it kind of tells you where some of them are, where they're located and the frequency. So this is how you go if you want to find the repeaters in your area. So I would recommend that, not right now, but maybe once you get used to talking, you need to print this list out. Matter of fact, because you can download the app. They have an app called Repeater Book, and it works just like this. But you need to print this out and put it in your booklet. So if you're having a walk with your group, or the power's out, or some of these places have emergency power, or the phone system's out. Wherever you're walking, you need to know where all the repeaters are, so you can get, maybe possibly get, some help.
Yeah, I would encourage, when you talk about printing stuff out, if you go back to one of the first pages there in Repeater Book where you can actually pick by frequency for your state, I would actually just encourage you to, pick 2 meters there. I would just encourage you to, select the bands that you have access to and just go print the entire list, because you never really know where you're going to be in the state or even the surrounding states. It's good info to have. That's an easy way to get it all in one place.
Yep. Or if you're going on a trip, I mean, every time because let me ask you a question. I don't know the answer. Is Repeater Book downloaded on your phone, or does it do a query to the server when you look for? Can you?
It's querying the server. I don't think it's for everything. If you're in the Southeast and you know a repeater owner, hit them up and tell them you want a copy of the Southeastern Repeater Association, SIRA. They're a repeater journal. They print a quarterly magazine that's basically a list of all the repeaters in their region. Some other regions may have something similar, but the Southeast definitely does have that one.
Yep. Also, this is by city. Let's say your city's not on there. It has it by county as well, right here. So there may be some within your county, but not your little podunk city. So, and then down here. So anything else on the Repeater Book?
While we're at it, I know we're talking a lot about ham radio this month, but if you hop back out to the first page of Repeater Book, I'll show everybody else something that's kind of useful as well. Okay. You see over there where it says US GMRS repeaters. Click on that.
Okay.
They also have a listing of GMRS repeaters. So, if maybe your kids don't have access or your wife's not interested in getting her license, you may be able to find a GMRS repeater that you can use as well. GMRS repeaters are a little different in that they are typically not always just open for public use. A lot of times you have to have permission or be a part of the club. But there are some that are open, like, that one says it's open. Some you'll see that are club only, and it tells you the frequency and the tones there. They make you log into Repeater Book to do that. Some people do, but that's a way you can find GMRS repeaters that people want to have found. There's a lot of guys that do that, and they also use a lot of times what is called the travel tone, which is 141.3. So I just default program 141.3 into my GMRS repeater channels in my radio. And that way I can, fiddle around if I'm somewhere new and sometimes find repeaters that way.
So let me say this. So GMRS, you need a license, but that license is just a form you fill out. There's no test. And if you wait, in March of this year, they're going to reduce the price in half. Currently, I think it's $70.
Yeah, $70. It'll be $35.
And as soon as it's $35, I'm getting my GMRS call sign. I'm going to fill out the form, mail it in, and I'm going to get a call sign for GMRS. There's no test or anything.
Yeah, it's a good first step for somebody that's not quite ready to do the amateur radio thing.
Yes. And so you notice also on this map, it has the radius. It says it's a 50-mile radius.
Yeah. And if you'll scroll down just a little bit, on that, there may be a chart that says, so you see where it says under, go back up just a little bit. You see where it says add propagation report, and then right below that, you see the different color dots.
Yes.
Sometimes the map, the circle, that's based off of what sort of radio that you're using. So the blue circle is coverage based off of a mobile radio installed in a vehicle, that kind of thing. And then, of course, an HT would have less distance. It'd be a smaller circle.
And I'll tell you guys this right now, that circle has over 2 million people in it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Charlotte area alone is like a million counting guests. I mean, if you count that, that's probably getting close to 2 million people that could actually cover. So, okay.
Hey guys, real quick on that page, real quick.
Okay, I'll go back.
Yeah, scroll back up if you don't mind. Where it shows uplink and downlink, what you're going to see on the radio is probably going to be encode and decode. So when you're looking at an encode, most of the time on your radios, a lot of times you'll just want to put in the encode. If you put in the, well, that one doesn't have the encode and decode. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
CSS. Yeah, try a different repeater that we get the CTCSS tone.
Okay.
And also, when you're using the mobile version, you can put in whatever in your radius of how many miles you want to look for a repeater out to it. So that's a really good feature.
Hey, Forrest, go to an amateur repeater. You'll have better luck.
Go where?
Go back to amateur radio and out of the GMRS stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say when you put an encode in or a CTCSS like a 103.5, a lot of repeaters, unless you don't want to hear some people, might not want to put in the decode. Most times when people use a decode, it's because they're running Yaesu's System Fusion. And all you will hear on if somebody's running digital on a System Fusion, it'll sound almost like a fax machine coming to you on that. So a lot of you may only want the code and not the decode. But a lot of times where you see a decode, like right there, it showed it as a System Fusion machine, and it had the encode and decode. That way, if somebody's transmitting on that System Fusion digital, you don't have to sit there and listen to a fax machine. Go back one page for us.
Okay.
Just to let everybody see this. If you look at, let's see here. A little bit down the page. Well, oh, stay right there. Up. Go back up. 1 second. Let me see where it says System Fusion. Where'd it go? Oh, you move. Stop right. Stop right.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let me find one. Well, it says Echolink Fusion. That's fine. 145310 right there. Kind of 3/4 of the way down. See how it's got the right there. See how it's got the 141.3 and the 141.3. Look over to the right. You see that's an Echolink and Fusion machine. And the reason they use that second 141.3, which is your decode, is so you don't have to sit there and listen to the System Fusion part of it.
Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, if you just put in the encode, then you'll still be able to hear people talking. Hope that's not too confusing.
Okay, so let's I'm going to go back out and show one more thing that you can do with this, and then we'll go to the next site. But go back out to the main screen because you can do a call sign search. Of course, this isn't the best to do the call sign search here, but I'm going to put in W4 GAR. And let's see what happens here. Well, there I am. But I have to log in to do this. Okay, where's the one you can do call sign lookup? Is you have to go to the ARL for that?
QRZ.com.
Well, I just was there. I mean, that's what I'm on. Oh, right here, call sign. There we go. Let's enter that, and let's do a search.
You're on repeater book.
Oh. Actually, hang on. I got to change it. Well, you're right. Okay, hang on. I got to go here. I got to reshare. But what had happened is open up a new screen, tab, and let's go to. But it says I have to log in. I'm not sure I want to log in here. Y'all see that? I'm a ham member. Oh, wait.
Yeah, put in my call sign up there in the top left for us. I think
Okay.
it'll show limited information.
You're N4
SOI.
S. Oh gosh.
Okay, well,
Yep. So there he is. And it usually would show your address, but yet I have to be logged in since so I'm not going to do that. So anyway, next is we want to go through let me stop sharing this screen. Next, we want to go through radio reference.
The repeater book is a good way to go out and find ham information and repeaters, so you can plug them into your new thing that Patrick posted, your band plan. That way you can put in the the repeaters closest to you and make sure they work. Make sure the repeaters that work. So when you put them in, make sure you test them out and you can get into them, because some of them may have a little bit older information and they may not be online anymore. So when you add those in, make sure you test them.
Yep.
You can also use radio reference to find in the template that I put up, I left some blanks for local public service and emergency service stuff that people might want to monitor during a disaster or during some kind of, various different events. And you can find all kinds of public service stuff on radio reference as well. It's more of a scanner oriented site. There is amateur radio stuff on it, just like there is repeater book. But it's really the place to be for like public service, public safety type stuff.
Okay, I told you guys you can look up people's call sign. I looked mine up. Everyone in the world can do this. It's a vanity call sign. It's W4GAR. You can see I got my license in 2016. It expires in 2026. There's my address. That's actually a P.O. box. And I'm a general. And if you would refer to me as general from now on, that would be great. This was my original call sign that I was given. And I didn't like that. I just wanted something simple that I can remember. And W4GAR, my last name, is something I can remember. And so that information, when you get your license, everyone else will be able to look that up and see that information.
And another little special piece of information I will give all the PrepperNet folks that are listening, and this one's just for us. It's kind of secret. But if you go to that admin tab up there, you can actually go look at license changes. And if the person has changed their address from, their real address to a post office box or something, you can find the original information in there.
Yeah, you mean right here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just think about that one before you open it.
Yeah. Well, if everyone can open it, then that doesn't screwed anyway.
That's true. Yeah. When you move is an excellent time to get a P.O. box.
Okay. Next is the radio reference. Let me open that one up again. And who's going to talk through this one?
You want me to do it, Bravo, or you want to do it?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. First, click on databases right up top next to home and click frequency database. And we'll take a quick look here. I don't know anything about Charlotte, but we'll go look there. So just like repeater book, you've got a map. Click on North Carolina there. The first page that actually loads before we go click on the county, if you'll scroll down just a little bit for us, you'll see there are some statewide things that you can go explore and look around. Particularly like the North Carolina state agencies there, if you want to go look for forestry service or public safety, stuff that's statewide, you can take a look there. One of the interesting things, forestry is still typically using regular plain old FM, no digital, no nothing fancy in most areas. And if you happen to be in a forest fire prone area, it's not a bad idea to have some of those incident channels there. So if we look, if we just take any of those listings there, just like we were talking about with the amateur radio stuff, you have a frequency, you have a tone that is associated with that, and then whatever it happens to be called, typically by that agency. And then over there where it says mode and it says FMN, that means FM narrow. All public service stuff is going to be narrow band, where all amateur stuff at this point is still pretty much wideband. So make sure your radio settings are adjusted accordingly so that you're not getting interference from surrounding stuff. But you can find there, and then you can go look at your particular county. So if you scroll back up to the map there for us and click on Charlotte or something. And then you can just scroll down and you'll see agencies and stuff. So if we look there, you can see, fire dispatch, various different schools that are there. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, like if we look over here in the mode, like if you look at the one there that's labeled Mecklenburg Fire DVRS, you'll see where it says P25. That's not a mode you're going to be able to pick up with an amateur radio. It's a digital mode that is pretty specific to first responders. If you happen to have a nice unit in Home Patrol 2, then you can pick that up as long as it's not encrypted. But that is a digital mode that's pretty common with first responders. And then of course down there you got schools. If you happen to be near your kid's school and want to listen to what's going on with the security at the school, you can find it and listen to it a lot of times. And then down here at the bottom where it says all trunked radio systems, that is, so I won't lose everybody here talking about trunked radio systems, but trunked radio systems are a little more like a cell phone system than a radio system. And you will have to have a scanner that knows how to manage digital in a lot of those cases, plus the trunking data in order to listen to that stuff. So that's a little outside of the scope of what we're going to talk about tonight, but just know that that's lurking out there, and that's what a lot of different agencies use.
Okay.
So that's
So what this would be good for, if you're programming your Baofeng and you live near the airport, or you want to hear fire and rescue or Duke Energy or whatever, you can get some of this information and then actually program this on your Baofeng or a scanner, and you can listen to these frequencies. I mean, now I wouldn't recommend talking on them because they're probably against the law. But you can listen to a lot of these frequencies. I know in Charlotte, you can listen to the fire and medic, and the county I'm in as well. You can listen to it, and so.
And the benefit is the more rural of an area that you're in, the more likely you are to be able to listen to more. The more urban areas tend to be more trunked radio and more likely to run encryption and those sorts of things than some of the poorer folks out there, poorer agencies. So, but great intelligence tool there. Even if you can't listen to to law enforcement running calls, to do your area study if you're doing the Sam Culper thing. Listening to EMS is a great way to find out where the bad section of town is. I listen to one of the EMS frequencies here in Knoxville pretty frequently, and you pick what part of town they're going to by the drug overdose calls and the various other calls that go out. So it's a great intel tool.
Yes. And I will, I'm looking something up I want to share. Oh. As soon as I find it. Well, hang on, guys.
Hopefully all you guys have downloaded Patrick's new band plan he put out there. So it's out there on the Mighty Networks PrepperNet comms page at least. Did you put that on the main page, Patrick, or just the comms?
It's in the comms page. It will also end up over on the preppernet.com file list. It's a template and a place to start if you don't know where to start. I will not go so far as to say, hey, you need to use that particularly. But if you don't know where to start, it's a good place to start. And if you want to do other stuff, then you probably don't need our help to figure out what to program in your radio. So,
yeah. And of course, you can use these two to put stuff, help you fill out that, the plan and put that in there as the radio reference and the repeater book. So
Yep.
that'll help you get that band plan filled out.
Yep. And so here is what we talked about this a little bit. This is a high dollar scanner. This is the home version. There's a portable version that I like better. But you can see the price on this thing. This thing is amazing. If you just want to listen, you literally just type your zip code in, and it brings all your frequencies down in there automatically. It's pretty amazing.
And a lot of that data actually, I think, comes from Radio Reference, because there's a couple of ways that you can link scanners to Radio Reference.
But then this is the home one. I would recommend the portable one, which I couldn't find in time, but there it is. And this is the one I have, if it's going to open up here. But when you buy this, you need to go through PrepperNet so we get our little commission. It didn't open up. What the heck? Anyway, here we go. But this is what I have. This also has a neat little feature that, again, we're doing ham, but this, you can listen to a lot of ham stuff on it. But one thing that this thing has is called close call. And you can listen to any frequency that's being transmitted near you, which is pretty cool. It will just pick it up and tell you what frequency it is, and you can listen in on it. So, okay, we're done with that. Okie dokie.
I saw a comment over here where somebody mentioned something that's actually kind of important. If you're using particularly like a Baofeng or one of the radios that can transmit outside of the amateur bands to listen to public service stuff, please disable transmit on that frequency. Don't be the guy that accidentally leaves the radio turned on and then it gets smashed between the passenger seat, the center console, and the transmit buttons on, and you're jamming something in the public service world. So be sure you do disable transmit on that stuff. It's not worth the risk of being that guy.
Yeah, they kill you. That's all they do. Okay, maybe not. Okay, what else? What's next, guys? The document.
Have you got anything, Rob? Do you want to pull up the SOI and look at any of it, or
yes,
we can do that for a couple minutes.
Okay, share. I am so ready.
Once we look at that, I guess we want to take whatever questions people might have.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, particularly if you have questions about the SOI, let's hear some of those. See what we can answer. See what we can help folks with.
Okay. So here's the SOI. You want to speak about this?
So SOI stands for Signals Operating Instructions, and typically, they could be anything from a one-page quick document to, something like that, or Amron's that's like 100 pages long. And it just covers the operating practices and procedures for a particular mission or organization. It wouldn't be a bad idea. We have the little communications plan template for local PrepperNet groups, and really that's your SOI for your local community group. And that's, I was talking with someone about that today. PrepperNet is about building communities, and building that community level of communications is very critical to what we do. So, the regional stuff, the national stuff there on the pyramid, if all that disappeared and you can still communicate with the folks that are around you, you're doing very well. The other stuff's just kind of a cherry on top to let us help.
Yep. Okay. And then we go through here and you talk about the city groups and city leaders.
Mm-hmm. And I'll let everybody just kind of read that. It's, basically kind of their responsibilities as far as, how we kind of divide communications. I kind of joke that the city leader and the comms leader should be attached at the hip, kind of like the commanding officer and the RTO, on a mission. You guys are the lifeline. So you need to have a way to communicate with each other. That's one of the critical parts. And then the rest of it goes on to really address kind of the regional area comms and kind of how we do that, and what we do to ensure people are actually on the air. There's a lot of us who are on the air all the time with Amron already. PrepperNet's going to get the benefit from that and help with that a little bit.
Yep. So you go through. Yep. Okay.
And kind of there's a little flow chart there that kind of gives the information flow kind of idea where each city group has basically a comms leader that they can all communicate with within PrepperNet, and then that comms leader or someone he's appointed, that kind of thing, can communicate out regionally and gain information from other PrepperNet groups. So in my case, the PrepperNet up in Northeast Tennessee and Knoxville, we allow us to communicate, or even, Bravo 65 and I can communicate, Forrest and I can communicate. We can get information from, a lot of different places, share that information. And then kind of on the main column there, going up PrepperNet National, is all of the different little offshoots of PrepperNet that are in the works. And how that in a grid down situation that they can still communicate, with the actual city groups, and all the way down to the individual. If you need somebody to go knock on grandma's door and she's 5 states away, you can probably get a hold of somebody within PrepperNet that during an emergency can drive by and, make sure grandma's okay.
So the idea is to create small spider webs or nets within a community, within a city, and then the city leaders create that within a state and national. So the goal is to be able to get information from any PrepperNet member to PrepperNet National, and to get information from PrepperNet National, because I'll be working straight beside the president, whoever that is. I'm just kidding on that. That's a joke. And straight down to every single body in PrepperNet. We want them to be able to receive that information, because information can save your life.
And like I talk about in one of the classes I teach, information also kind of gives you legitimacy. Because if you know what's going on, people automatically kind of assume that you're, official and, kind of know what's going on, as opposed to just being this random group. So it's a great way you can help, your community.
So someone asked this question I saw, is this SOI same as Amron's? Why don't you
It is.
explain exactly how PrepperNet and Amron are going to work together?
So this SOI is different from Amron's. PrepperNet's mission statement and Amron's mission statement are quite a bit different. We do have some of the same goals, but we also have a lot of different goals. I would almost describe it as, for those of you that may be amateur radio operators and be familiar with ARES and RACES, as emergency communication networks. For one's a little more civil defense oriented, the other one's a little more, community disaster relief oriented. Amron and PrepperNet are kind of that way. PrepperNet's very much a community minded, organization of preparedness and prepping, that kind of thing. And Amron has that, but they're also a little more oriented towards, civil defense and those sorts of things as well. So we will kind of interface is we will have the ability to pass information back and forth between the two networks. But we will also, some of you have probably been involved with some disasters, hurricanes, that kind of thing. The volume of traffic can pick up very quickly during an event like that. So we have our own kind of way of doing things that will be a little different than Amron. So they can continue their operations with their mission goal, and we can do the same thing, but we can all also on a local level kind of work together. And on a national level, we can share information and intelligence to benefit each other.
Yes.
Hopefully that's a pretty good summary of that in particular. And there's, like we're forced to stop there's some procedures that are suggested, what to do in an emergency, particularly a national emergency or a regional emergency, say it's a hurricane or that kind of thing. If your city group wants to get something spinned up and running to try to work together, and then as well have access to those of us who are outside of the area, so we can relay information, so we can help if we can. There's some different ways that you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
go ahead, Bravo. Go ahead.
another way to look at it is, for instance, PrepperNet is like one large mag group, and within that mag, there's also your city leaders. So we have our, I guess you could call it our specific people we need to get information to, that Amron may be trying to get information to other groups. PrepperNet's main focus is going to be getting information to our city leaders so that they can make decisions either in a national crisis or a regional crisis or even a local crisis. So Amron's going to have they're going to be busy, especially if it's a national crisis, getting information to a lot of people. And what our concentration is just making sure each city leader is current, and each person within PrepperNet, because that's what we're main focus of PrepperNet is to help PrepperNet. Even though we're also with Amron, that gives us a good base to help us also. But while they're in their lane and staying in their lane, we can bring the information over into our lane and get that information to people also. So it just unties their hands a little bit, allows them to do what they need to do, and lets us get back to our city leaders so that they can start making decisions.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you may show in here, Patrick or Bravo?
Maybe the checklist.
Yeah, there's a couple of deployment checklists in the appendix. You just went past one of them there where it said pre-activation. And these are just basically some entry-level checklists. If you've not done this before, just things to do. And there's lots of blanks at the bottom to add stuff to. We kind of put those in there just to encourage and remind you that this is far from an inclusive list. This is just something to kind of point you in the right direction. And cover some pre-activation things to be prepared for, and then after the event starts, it's very helpful to have a checklist and those kinds of things, because you're being pulled 500 different ways at once, and it's very easy for things to slip through the cracks. And if you're going to actually be providing communication support for a group, it can help you out with having your ducks in a row for that. because you're probably, if you're like me, that's not going to be the only thing you're doing. You're going to be doing a lot of other stuff. So it's a place to start and a place to start building your own list off of. There's also in there, I think if you scroll down a little bit, I think I put together like a deployment list suggestion. One of them's like a personal gear, and then the other one is like is more of a deployment with an HF rig for for an actual like a if you were deploying to a shelter, or if you were deploying with PrepperNet, in a disaster relief capacity or that kind of thing. It's a list of that stuff. There's the personal radio kit. I mean, it doesn't have anything specific. It's just some generics. And actually, this stuff is verbatim. Basically, I took my kit apart and inventoried it. I'll be honest that's where all this stuff comes from. Is it's literally what's in my personal kit. So there's that. And this one, you're going to flip through the communications operator deployment kit, and you're going to go, that's 10 tons of stuff. And it's actually about 75 pounds worth of stuff. But it's, it'll get you through a bigger event deployment where you're actually managing and handling communications. And some of that stuff's hard learned.
Right. So I do want to say this. I post a link. It says it's preppernet-file/help.htm. That's where we're going to have that's where we're going to post all the documents, because they just kind of get lost on the .net site. And every time we try to figure out a way to put it up at the top, it doesn't work. So we're going to post all our files, help files. Anytime someone has questions, we're going to say, go to that site. That's where we're going to have all the information. That site's going to build over time with tons of information. And it's kind of go search and find it yourself, be self-efficient. Okay.
But yeah, this SOI should probably be the first thing you go to if something happens in your area or nationwide. This SOI should be the first thing you sit there and take a look at, and it will basically guide you through getting you started on what you need to do as far as getting your comms and information up.
And there is in the appendix, there's a huge number of different forms that are attached to this that cover all kinds of different traffic. They're in there just to familiarize yourself with. Some of them are very common within various different OXCOM, emergency comm groups. So you can interface to those, and then there's some Amron specific ones that are super useful, and you can actually add those to digital modes. You can download the HTML files from Amron's website and add them. And I would encourage you guys as well, as you start playing with the digital stuff, to mess with those forms, get used to filling them out. You can take a Baofeng or any tone or any radio like that, plug it into your Android tablet, take a picture, put some notes with it, and then send it over 2 meters back to someone else in your group. So, not only is it, hey, so-and-so's house has damage from an earthquake, but here's a picture of what said damage looks like. We need help to extricate somebody, or whatever the situation happens to be. But it's a very concise and fast way. And, to give you an example of this, the typical Amron SOI that they send out once a week is a couple of kilobits or a couple of kilobytes in size. And on HF radio, it takes usually 2.5 minutes to transmit. But on
you talking about the AI?
Yes, the AIB.
Talking about the
Yeah, talking about the AIB. And on VHF, where you have or VHF, UHF, the higher bands, where you're not restricted to your speeds in the same way that you are on HF. You can zip that sucker off in less than 30 seconds. It's a real fast way to send a lot of information.
And I'd also encourage you guys to print the SOI, and especially a bunch of those forms. Print those forms out and put it in a binder.
Yes. So print that, and it will evolve over time. More things will be added. So that's
yeah.
one form we released, which is the SOI. Here's another one. Y'all, who wants to speak on this?
I can keep talking. I've been talking. This one is really thanks to Philip Tompkins up in the Pennsylvania group. He did a phenomenal job on this. This is literally designed to be either a half sheet of notebook paper or a 4x6 note card printed front and back, laminate it, stick it in your gear. It's got frequencies that you know about. It's got how to build, the dimensions for throwing together a new antenna for your HF radio or even your 2-meter radio when the tree falls and takes it out during a storm. It's got just tons and tons of useful information on it. Every square inch of that card's packed with valuable stuff. And Forrest, I'm going to pick on you just a little bit here. Can you talk just a little bit about the emergency at preppernet.com and the emergency text number that's up there in the top left?
Okay, yes. So when we did a real world exercise with Amron and with Forward Observer, we had to have a communication tool for people that when we were sending out information to people, and if they needed to get in touch with someone from the Cajun Navy, we were gathering the information. So we used this email address and this actual text number. And I don't know if y'all know the story, but this one lady on Facebook was texting saying that she went up in the attic of her house. And I was texting back with her, and she actually texted me a photo, her in her attic, looking down and water halfway up the attic. And they were in Lumberton. And we were getting this information and getting her address, which we had to then convert to coordinates. And we sent that to Forward Observer, that then sent that to the Cajun Navy. So this is these are monitored, not just by me, but 2 other people, the email address and the text message. And if there's an emergency at all, I mean, if it's you can't find your cat, I will hunt you down and shoot you. But if it's a true emergency, we're going to get back to you immediately. And when I say emergency, I mean that's what we're doing for that. Also, the Zello channel has an emergency channel as well, and I know that a lot of us monitor that all the time as well. Mine is always when I'm not at work. Well, even when I'm working, sometimes it's on, and I literally turn off the PrepperNet channel because I don't want to monitor that. I can just monitor the emergency channel if anything on there comes up as well. I know we have people and city leaders that monitor that as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
On it as well. Please don't wake me up in the middle of the night unless it's actually an emergency, because I actually leave the Amron main channel and the PrepperNet emergency channel on pretty much all the time.
Right. Yes. So this card has 2 sides. That's one side. And here's the other one.
And we're going to put together this document that's forthcoming. You've got the QR code up there that says PrepperNet Zello. That's to help you find that Zello channel. We're going to put together a card with all the Zello channels on it, because recently there's been some issues searching PrepperNet channels on Zello. And unless you get the name exactly right, it won't show up. It's not you, it's Zello. I'm not sure why they're doing that, but it's super annoying to people who are trying to get connected up.
Yeah, you used to be able to put in part of the name like prep, and it would show you everything under prep, but now it doesn't. You got to be exact.
So I don't know if we're trying to be deplatformed there, or buried, or what, but there is something going on there. So anyway, do you guys have Bravo 65? Do you have anything you want to put in? Do we want to take some questions? It's 9:30 now, so we've been at this for an hour and a half. We're probably getting kind of.
Yeah, let's take some questions. If you guys have questions, please ask. in the box there, and I'm going to share one more slide that we have here that is kind of get us to the end of the time here. So these documents are posted at preppernet.com/file/help. And that's where we're going to point any questions about membership, any questions about anything. I'm going to have all that information on that page with links, and we're going to keep that up to date because our site, until they do a new release on the Mighty Networks, where we'll be able to pin a post at the top and turn off comments, which they're going to give us that. We don't have it yet. So, y'all want to take that question?
Is there a list more or less frequencies that preppers use? So that's actually a good question. The Channel 3 project has kind of taken off on that. Everybody's got a list of frequencies that they think preppers use, and it's because some prepper group somewhere is using those. So it really is, kind of one of those things you got to feel out in your area. There's a lot of frequencies that kind of have a reputation for militia use and that kind of thing. If you do a Google search, you can find some of those. Some of them are commercial frequencies that people hang out on and that kind of thing.
Channel 3 is the
yeah, the Channel 3 project, the Amron frequencies are kind of yet. If you're just looking for somebody, of course, the National Simplex frequencies. And then I just saw somebody say, what mode for FLDigi on VHF? There's a couple of modes. If you really have a good connection and want to run fast, the BPSK modes work pretty well. Most folks, though, have settled on MT63, either 1K or 2K, short or long. There's an S or L at the end, because those are bomb proof. You can practically, you really actually can just hold the radio up next to the speaker on your computer and it'll decode MT63. It's not as fast as some of the other modes, but it's pretty robust. And then MFSK, that we use a lot on HF, if you run the 64 or 128, the fast versions of it, you have to run MFSK to send pictures. The other modes don't do it, but it works well for that.
Okay, Bravo, why don't you take this one? It's on the screen.
real quick, for standard, like if you're just talking, Contestia 4250 and FSQ 4.5 are good. But if you're transmitting documents and stuff like that, the modes, then you're looking at MFSK 32 and MFSK 64. 32 is going to be a little bit more reliable because it's a little bit slower, but 64 is a lot faster. If you're in VHF mode, yeah, like he was saying, you could run that in MFSK 64 over on the MT63 1KL.
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to stop you right there. This question, we probably shouldn't have answered it. That is so high level, past 95% of the people on here. So let's get down to the basics. What is the advantage of Zello? Bravo, won't you take that?
The advantage of Zello is it's a great grid up tool. It's out there for everybody to use on their phone. So as long as we have grid up communications, emergency communications means you use the best mode available to you at the time. So it's not always ham radio the best mode. It could be phone's the best mode. So Zello we've used in many real world disasters as well as a lot of exercises, and used it exclusively to conduct everything with. So Zello is available to everyone. And it's, as long as you're grid up and got a good internet connection, you just can't beat Zello as a good emergency communication tool.
Okay, now I'm going to skip this question unless y'all can hit it real quick. I don't even know what that sounds like. A high level question.
If you want to work on that in your local area and you've got the skill set to do it, then by all means play with it. If you don't, then don't worry about it. And if you want to know what it is, hit me up on Mighty Networks and I'll explain.
Okay. The next is the best way to study for technician level adventure. I posted this on the .net. It's exactly how I studied, and it is 7 hours. And I got the tools. I even have a spreadsheet, and I have a video that you can watch that reads you the answers. It works perfect. So the next question is, okay, that's quite okay. I'm going here. Oh, I do have
Just
to throw
make
this
sure
out
one
there.
thing when you're studying. Just
Go
one
ahead,
thing
yeah.
when you're studying, make sure you do the what is it called? Each individual section. Make sure you do all the sections and you're getting 100% on your sections before you move to the random. So once you're passing all the section things like on what Forrest is talking about, then move to the random and you'll be ready to go.
Right.
It
So
literally took me
Lawrence,
about the same time as Forrest, a few hours.
yeah. So Lawrence asked, why don't we just use phones? Because here's the thing, Lawrence. When the hurricane hit the Gulf Coast, phones towers were out. They were done. They were gone. And so that's why you need radio. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you, Michael Klein. He does a podcast, and he talked about his dad. His dad's house was a concrete slab. After it went through, nothing was there. They couldn't find anything, and he talked about for weeks upon weeks there were no communications, and the only communications they had were really ham radio or FRS radios. So phones in ground zero, or let's take 9/11, where 9/11 hit New York. You couldn't call, no one in New York could call anyone on a cell phone or text. Why is that? Because everyone in the entire city was trying to call and text people. So a lot of times they'll get overloaded as well. You got any comments on that, guys?
Well, and I think the question may have also been related to one I saw flash by a second ago. We're asking, why Zello? Well, one of the big reasons why Zello is, when you place a phone call, you're calling one person. When you push to talk on Zello, there can be 200 people on the channel that you can talk to all at the same time. So it's the same benefit you get using a two-way radio network to coordinate and pool resources and work, because you don't have to call each individual person or send a group text. You can just push to talk and talk to everybody that's monitoring that channel.
Yep,
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
Yep. Well, any more questions y'all see that you want to ask?
So we are using our phones. We're just using Zello over the phone.
Right.
Yeah. And they also make fun little radios that do Zello on a cellular network if you want an actual radio.
Yeah, I've got an Enrico T320 that is basically, they call it a Zello phone.
And that's why one of the reasons we have ZelloNet on Monday night is to get people practicing on hitting the talk button and actually talking, because there's a fear that you're going to do something wrong. And we think if we get you on a Zello, because PrepperNet's use Zello in real world situations when hurricanes, floods, all this stuff. And even for comfort, people were just saying, hey, my power's out. It's been out. I'm charging my radio because of my backup batteries. And thanks for being there for us, guys. And they're talking to us. No other forms of communication. And they're using Zello.
Yep. Jason on there just made a good comment. If we use our phones all the time, we will not be prepared to use our radios. So
yes. Yep. Okay, what else should everyone expect from us? And we'll wrap this up.
At this point, there will be some further documentation coming on getting local net started, a little bit of how to do that if you're new to that. There will be maybe a few more checklists kind of related to that, and some scripts, kind of get you started on, what to say, because it's kind of intimidating to be a net control station the first time. Honestly, I think it's easier to be a digital net control station the first time than it is to be a voice net control station, because when you're a digital net control station, you can copy and paste everything that you wrote earlier. But just some stuff to kind of help folks get ready and get that thing going locally. The other thing that you can expect from us is I posted a question sometime last month, trying to figure out what night would work well for most folks to do a HF net. So we will probably start at HF net. It's looking like Sunday nights, kind of the same time slot we're doing this. May be a good choice for that. It's late enough in the weekend that the contesters are gone, and it's a night that like I said, most folks seem to have available. So.
Yep. Also, we would like to do a Channel 3 night one night this month as well, where we try to do a Channel 3 project, and you just find out who's near you. It's who you can do on one of the designated times, and go through some. We need to do a video. So Bravo talked about training people on how to program a Baofeng.
No, not a Baofeng. Getting your radio, your HF radios hooked up on digital.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I can figure out how to do it, I'll do a video at some point this month on using Chirp for folks that are not used to using Chirp and programming radios that way.
Yeah. Chirp. We also are you gonna release your code plug for DMR to everyone?
Yeah, I can release the code plug. Of course, it's going to be North Carolina centric, because those code plugs are basically for each, location or each state you might be in. Most of the code plugs are state oriented, so all of mine have mostly, of course, North Carolina stuff in it. But it'll give everyone a good reference. And also, if you are going to get into DMR, once you get in touch with Bridgecom, your free Bridgecom University, those videos will get you going. And I do invite anyone that needs one-on-one, help. Just get with me on Mighty Networks or even on Zello. Just give me a shout, and I'll work with you, and I'll make sure you get up to speed on anything you need.
He will. He's helped me tremendously. So, so I guess that's good for tonight. Hey, keep going on the website.net, telling us what's going on. If you've got questions, post them. There's so many ham experts. It's crazy. I posted the link. All the links you'll ever need with PrepperNet will be at this link here. Maybe not all, but I'm going to try to just have one page for any questions, all the files that we're producing, everything. It will be on there. Okay. And any last words before we get off the air, and then or was that it? I guess that's it. Bravo, you don't have anything? Nope.
Good to go.
Patrick?
I'll say 7-3 to everybody.
7-3. And we know that means I'm sending my love to you. Oh, wait. No, sorry.
Best wishes.
No 88s. No 88s.
Unless you're talking to the XYL.
Yeah. Guys, we will see you on preppernet.net. If you're not there, you better get there. I'm going to stop sending out emails to everyone. It's all going to be on preppernet.net. So we'll see you guys next week.